Millions of years ago, a massive planet called Maldek was part of our solar system. Maldek had an enormous moon that could support life. It was warm, it had oceans and an atmosphere. And on that moon, a civilization of giants built pyramids.
So, just once again, right off bat, if there's a planet that can sustain life, the moon of it cannot. Need any proof? Look at us. Look at Jupiter. Look at any other planet in our solar system. Whether it can supply life or not, there's only a few moons that might supply life, but they don't supply life like this.
Monuments and great cities. They created intelligent machines to mine Maldek for resources. But the machines evolved, turned on their masters, and claimed Maldek for themselves.
Once again, this makes no sense. If you can make robots to farm for you. Once again, this guy, I love this guy. He's just telling you the story. He's not saying this is true, so I do agree with him. But no, if you make robots to do shit for you, they don't take over your shit. They do what you tell them to do.
Devastating war lasted generations. Finally, the giants built a weapon powerful enough to destroy all the machines. The weapon worked.
Why would you need to destroy all the machines when you could just program a computer thing like in the Matrix to fucking destroy all the machines? I got a guy. His name is Luminal. He'll make a program. We'll destroy it.
Weapon worked too well. The explosion destroyed Maldek. With their planet shattered into a billion pieces, the giant's moon was adrift. Soon the atmosphere vanished, the oceans froze, and the surface turned to dust. Their civilization collapsed. And we don't know what the giants called their moon, but we have a name for it. We call it Mars.
So now, if Mars ever had life on it, yes, 100%. Where Earth is in the middle, and then you have, like, what is it, Mars and Neptune, or the two ones, Mars and whatever, they're closest to us. So could they have life on them? Of course they could. They're the closest ones to us near the sun. Now, like Mercury, Pluto, your anus, not my anus. Yeah, they cannot. But yes, the two planets closest to us could possibly harbor life, which Mars definitely does. This is the smartest guy on the internet. I love this guy so much. Okay, hold on.
Human, I'm in a full-blown emotion.
Yeah, we're not going to watch the ad. He always has these ads in here. Let's go to the next thing.
And broken promises.
It's kind of petty, isn't
This
it?
guy's the
What you call
smartest
petty,
guy on the
I
internet.
call strategy. I will have my revenge, human. Oh yes, I will have my revenge.
In 2022, actor Terrence Howard appeared on the Joe Rogan Experience and said something.
So now, if you guys don't know who Terrence Howard is, he was in like Hustle and Flow. I think he won an Oscar for that. He's a good actor, but he thinks there's no zero. His whole thing is that there's no zero. Like in math, there's no zero. He says something like that. So he's completely bonkers bullshit because there's ones, twos, zeros. He's completely bonkers bullshit. Let's watch this.
That made mainstream scientists very uncomfortable. He claimed NASA's explanation for how planets form was completely wrong. Neil deGrasse Tyson and other experts immediately pushed back. They dismissed Howard as just another...
Neil deGrasse Tyson's badass, but I have seen some videos lately about him bullshitting some stuff, so I don't know about that. We'll go into that if we have to.
...celebrity with fringe theories. But here's the thing. Some respected scientists...
Yeah, it's definitely a celebrity with fringe theories. Like, there's no way a celebrity's telling you how the world was created
saying
when
the
there's
same
all kinds of people out there studying it.
things as Howard for over 100 years.
Yeah, but
To explain how planets form,
So they're like, people have been saying shit that Terrence Howard has been saying for 100 years. They've also been saying Jesus has been alive for 100 years, and none of that makes any sense. Really? A God made the earth, but he didn't just make it. He could make anything he wanted, but he wanted to make amoebas that took 70 million years to become humans. Really? You think that I have a kid, but I'm going to wait 70 million years, 100 million years for my kid to come around? Let me sit back and wait. No!
NASA teaches the accretion model. After a star forms, leftover dust and gas start clumping together. These clumps, called planetesimals, gradually collect more and more material, like snowballs rolling down
And that is correct. That is what happens with like a black hole kind of fucking remake a star. It like black holes make stars, stars blow up, they make black holes make that's how shit works. Everything else is just drawn to it by gravity and a gravitational pull.
hill. Eventually, they become planets. Sounds reasonable. That's what we were taught in school.
Kind
But
of.
there
You're
are
kinda
serious
right.
problems. The early solar system was violent chaos. Objects moved at 2 miles per second. That's almost 45,000 miles per hour. At those speeds, collisions don't create bigger rocks, they're smashed into dust. Yet NASA says these particles kept sticking together somehow.
That is true. Like shit does get shot through the universe at extreme velocities and stuff like that. But once again, if something gets shot through like a universe, like here's your universe, it gets shot through the universe, it just goes through the universe. But the shit that's not shot through the universe, that's still around the universe, gets pulled into a gravitational pull of items in that universe. And it can create stars, planets, everything. And then like comets come in and you got this like big chunk of bullshit, and then comets hit it for fucking millions of years, because we're not talking about yesterday, and it forms a round spherical planet. Ta-da!
Then there's the plane of the ecliptic. The sun's gravity pulls equally in all directions, right? But all the planets orbit in a single flat disk, like marbles rolling around a dish. Random debris
they
naturally
don't
forming
rotate.
a flat plane.
They don't rotate at the same time. Just so you guys know that, like, not all of them all are in a line where they just rotate. I don't know what that means. That's not how that happens.
Sounds too perfect. The frost line
it's
is
not
another
real.
problem. That's the distance from the sun where it's cold enough for gases to freeze solid. NASA says gas giants only form beyond this line, while rocky planets form inside it. Nice and neat. But astronomers keep finding what they call hot Jupiters. These are massive.
So once again, that's not true. The only reason why Jupiter stays where it is as a gaseous planet is because it's so fucking massive that the mass of it being so big, even though it's a gas, like equates to being like a fucking massive fucking chunk of rock. Like if you condensed it down, it was still like the size of Saturn. You know what I mean? Like it's there not because of any fucking gaseous bullshit or anything, or man, none of that matters. It all has to do with your fucking like dense weight and how you rotate around the sun. That's it. I don't care how big you are once you condense down your fucking gases. That's the mass of your planet. And you have fucking Triton and all these other things, you know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you condense it down and it's still the size of Saturn, it's going to fucking still be there and rotate.
gas giants orbiting closer to their stars than Mercury orbits our sun. According to NASA's model, they shouldn't exist. Yet we've documented over 400 of them.
Yeah, once again, it all has to do with mass. Like, you could be close to a star, you could be whatever you want to be. But if your fucking mass is a solid rock like Mercury, you have a set trajectory. And you do, because you have like a mass, like a I don't know how you guys could explain it to you guys. Like, you have a set mass of the density of your fucking planet. So now if you go out further and you're like, you need a bigger density to fucking still circulate the planet, and you're like, oh, it's gaseous. Yeah, then guess what? It needs to be way fucking bigger. Way bigger, like Jupiter. Way bigger. That's why that works. It makes sense. Physiology. God damn, not physiologically, I guess.
Dr. Tom Van Flandern spent 20 years at the U.S. Naval Observatory calculating planetary orbits.
Guy.
He saw these contradictions firsthand. The accretion model couldn't explain what he was seeing in the data. So Van Flandern proposed something radical. The planets didn't form from dust. They didn't form from orbiting the sun. They formed inside it. And when the sun thought they were ready, those planets were born.
Okay, so this theory makes a lot more sense right here. Like when they say there's like all this dust and it collects, blah, that doesn't make any fucking sense. None at all. It makes zero fucking sense. What makes sense is that like a star, like condenses over time, right? And it takes a black hole or whatever and it condenses in really thick. So then when the shit comes into it, it fucking finally, like at some point in time, it gets heated, something happens because heat expands shit, whatever the fuck it is. Because like the friction of it closing is so strong that it creates heat. I don't fucking know. I'm not an astrophysicist. I'm just telling you my opinion. It explodes, right? So now you've had all these fucking concentrated fucking materials get packed into a black hole and it explodes. And then all of a sudden it's like it shoots 40% of the mass out into the fucking stratosphere, astrosphere, whatever the fucking hell. So when it does that, the bit that's left kind of condenses and starts burning. And that's how you get your star. So when the other things that get ejected, they either have to like escape the atmosphere or they're going to stay in there and they're going to spin. But I don't think it's tiny dust particles. That makes no fucking sense. What makes sense is these big chunks of this fucking explosion from the star creating are still close enough. Like some of them blow away, some of them don't. Some of them are close enough that I think they start spinning. And anytime you put a thing, like if you put a rock in a wash machine and run it for a year, the rock's going to get rounded because of tumbling through the dryer. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm assuming the universe does to these planets, is it spins them around and gets them hit by shit, and then asteroids hit them, and they become round by their spinning weird technique. That's how planets are formed.
Dr. Tom Van Flandern wasn't some internet conspiracy theorist making YouTube videos in his basement or his studio in Las Vegas. He had a PhD from Yale and spent over 20 years at the U.S. Naval Observatory. His job was calculating exactly where planets would be at any given moment, down to fractions of a second.
So now, once again, like calculating what he's saying about calculating fucking planets where they are at any time and any second. In a general fucking goddamn synopsis, this makes no sense. Like, you don't need to know where that is. Like, it makes no sense. But if you're trying to predict like asteroids or meteorites hitting your planet and how stuff moves in space, this is significantly important. You know what I mean? It's significantly important. That's why he's talking about this guy, because it's significantly important that you can't just be like, hey, we're going to ignore all space junk smashing into my planet, where if it's a big enough chunk, you fucking die. So that's what this guy is doing.
The military needed this level of accuracy for navigation, satellite positioning, and who knows how many classified operations. Van Flandern was their guy, an expert on celestial mechanics. But the more he studied planetary motion...
Dude, the word celestial mechanics is insane. Like, if you guys don't know, this guy's predicting where asteroids, planets, anything are going to be at any point in time. Like, holy fuck, that's insane.
the more the official story bothered him. The accretion model has too many holes. Random collisions creating perfect orbital planes. Planets have most of the solar system's spin, while the sun has most of the mass. Hot Jupiters exist where they shouldn't. The math didn't add up. So Van Flandern looked at an older idea that NASA had abandoned: solar fission. The theory goes like this.
It does make sense, because if the Earth is like 20 times the mass of everything else, and it has some kind of core it's burning, all right? It doesn't just burn gas like people think. Like if it was gas, it would just be like, gone. It has to have some kind of mass in the middle that's sending out the gas, or it's like coal. It can burn for a long time. You know, there's something there. It's not just a gaseous planet doing that. It has to have a fucking mass in the middle of it that it's burning like a chunk of coal. No matter if it's like condensed gas or a chunk of coal, it has to have something to keep burning for fucking millions, like 30 millions of years. It's not just gas.
4.5 billion years ago, the sun was not calm. It was spinning fast, too fast. And when a star spins too fast, it builds up something called angular momentum, the cosmic version of rotational energy. You can think of it like spin, but with that.
It's probably going to draw more shit into its gravitational field, which makes sense by a large mass spinning at a fast rotation.
Mass factored in, and the sun had too much spin and too much mass. To survive, it had to shed some of that, but not gradually, violently.
I wouldn't say it sheds it for that purpose. I think that the thing has no other planets to draw gravitational force from, so it doesn't know what to do with its own power, if that makes sense. So it has to eject that power like it's burning this coal, right? Like I'm saying, these people are wrong. Don't listen to them. It's burning this coal in the middle of this thing, and it's sending out heat and energy, right? And it sends too much energy. It's going to flick it out into the universe, and then it's going to have a big-ass pull back in to draw planets and objects into it. That's what happens. I don't care what these motherfuckers say. That's what happens is you explode and you create a vacuum to bring these fucking particles back in there. And then these particles surround you and circle in motions and get rock tumbled into a fucking planet. That's what happens.
The sun shed superheated plasma into space. And these were huge globs of plasma, millions of miles wide, spinning away from their parent star. As these plasma balls cooled, they condensed into planets. This explained everything the accretion model couldn't.
No. I don't agree that so much. Like, the sun ejects stuff right now. Like your cell phone goes out sometimes because the sun ejects fucking goddamn these like solar flare things, and it fucks up your cell phone, satellites, whatever. No. It doesn't eject a thing that fucks up your fucking phone and make a planet. No, that's not how that works. When it explodes these energies, it draws more material in, and those materials make planets.
Why planets orbit in a flat plane? They all came from the sun's equator.
They don't line in a flat plane. They're like kind of flat, but they teeter. They teeter because they're circling around. Like if you have a ball and you're not completely symmetrical, you will like spin. You know what I mean? You like spin down and up and down and up and down and up. And you know what I mean? That's how fucking planets work. They're in a solar system. Fuck you.
Why they have angular momentum? They took it with them when they spun out of the star. Why hot Jupiters exist? Some planets just didn't travel as far from home. Van Flandern noticed something else. Planets seem to be born in pairs. Earth and Venus are nearly identical in size. Jupiter and Saturn are both gas giants.
So once again, this theory right here does not set well with me. you're like Jupiter, whatever these guys are saying makes no sense. There is no planet that is a twin of Earth in our universe. There's none. None. You got Mercury, you got Mars that are hotter, Venus it's colder. Then you go out, you go to Jupiter. There is no twin planet. There's only one planet that can sustain life, and it's only because we're the perfect distance away from a sun.
Even their positions follow a pattern. Their orbits have specific ratios to each other. The math works, but some planets in our solar system don't have partners. Mercury's orbit is all wrong. Pluto acts more like a captured moon than a planet.
So once again, we're talking about Mercury, the closest planet to the fucking sun. Oh, that's not set up for life. No shit. You'll get fucking evaporated on that bitch immediately. Then you're like Pluto. Nobody even includes Pluto as a planet anymore. You ask little fucking kids, they're like, planet's a satellite. Or Pluto planet. Pluto's a satellite. Like, it's not even it doesn't even matter. Like, it's so far out. What do we care about as far as goddamn solar systems?
Or planetoid. And then there's Mars. Mars was the real problem. Too small. Wrong orbit.
Once again, Mars could have held life at some time. That's just basic facts. Like rising tides, rising seas, lowering seas. Maybe at some point in time, Mars had the best thing to habitate life. And then maybe it went wrong. I don't know. It is a possibility. But let's see.
Wrong density. It didn't match any pattern Van Flandern could find. That's when Van Flandern made a bold conclusion. Mars wasn't a planet that failed to follow the rules. It was a moon. A moon from a planet that was destroyed millions of years ago.
Oh my God. So every moon, like our moon, it supposedly broke off from our Earth at some point in time from a comet, gives us our moon, the moon. How do you think Mars is the moon? Once again, the sun doesn't have any physical characteristics of like mass. It's only gases. Where do you think it came from? Like, it just came in like on a satellite and was like, boop, there you go. You got a new planet. No, it's always been here.
Maldak. Most of the planet was vaporized, but not all of it. Many pieces of debris still remain in the same orbit where...
Maldak my dick, bro. Maldak my dick.
Maldak once was. We call this debris field the asteroid belt.
But once again...
In 1760...
So once again, we have 9 planets in our solar system if we count Pluto, which I don't know if I'm supposed to count anymore. It might be a satellite. So all these planets get chunked up, right? So where would you assume all the rubble from the planets would end up? Let's guess right in the middle. So you have planets here like Mercury. You have Pluto, Jupiter, Uranus, my anus, whatever the fuck is in here. So if shit gets broken up in this spindle of shit, don't you think it would be in the middle? It fucking is! It's in the middle!
1966, a German mathematician named Johann Titius was playing with numbers when he noticed something strange about our solar system. The planets weren't randomly scattered. They followed a mathematical pattern. Here's how it worked.
So if gravity has a pattern, like a mathematical pattern, okay? Like when something is drawn to something and it just spins around it because of gravity. It has a pattern. Yep. 100%. It's gonna fucking follow a pattern.
At 0.4 astronomical units from the sun. 1 astronomical unit is the distance from the sun to the Earth. So you take that 0.4, then double the distance for each new planet. That sequence perfectly predicts the orbits of Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, and
The only thing that doesn't make any sense is when planets have a different density that they're swirling on, right? So once again, Jupiter's bigger, but it has a less density because it's more it's more dust. Like Saturn, bigger, but it has the outer ring. Like there's density issues, and explains what the gravitational fucking follow of the planets are. It's fucking simple. It's either bigger or denser and... Okay, let's watch.
And Saturn. When another German astronomer, Johann Bode, published this formula in 1772, Bode's law predicted the orbits of all 6 known planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. All there, right where the math said they...
All right, so let's watch this now. 6 planets instead of 9, including Pluto, which it doesn't count anymore. It's 8. Let's watch.
would be. But the formula predicted something else. Between Mars and Jupiter, at exactly 2.8 astronomical units from the sun, there should be another planet. A big one. Astronomers started searching. In 1781, they found Uranus, exactly where Bode's law said it was, even though the formula
I remember the first time I found your guys' Uranus, and it
was created before
was really pleasurable to me.
anyone knew Uranus existed. That's when people really started paying attention. So where was this missing planet between Mars and Jupiter? Well, on New Year's Day, 1801, Italian astronomer Giuseppe Piazzi found something. A small object orbiting at 2.77 astronomical units, almost...
So here's a really weird thing what they're talking about. So now we have our solar system when we're shit, like circles. We got Pluto, we got, even though it's a satellite, it's not a planet, guys, chill out. But we have these things circling. Well, now we have this thing that's not circling us. It's circling like in a gigantic fucking circle like this around the universe. So they're saying that thing is real. They're wrong.
exactly where Bode's law said the missing planet should be. He named it Ceres. But Ceres was tiny, less than 600
Unless something has enough mass to goddamn contractily hit through some fucking big ass shit in the universe and circle around, it's not real. It does not come back to this universe unless it's on track to go for some big ass fucking thing in our universe with gravity.
miles across. That's a little smaller than Texas. Then astronomers found Pallas, then Vesta, then Juno, and more and more and more. By 1850, they'd found 13 objects in the same region. Today, we know of millions of rocks in orbit in that zone, and we call it the asteroid belt. Now, some scientists said these were just leftover building materials, debris that never formed a planet. But a German astronomer...
No. I don't care what they say. Remember how our planets are round? They've been chipped off by asteroids and everything. And if the asteroids are closer or further away from like specks like this, all those specks count into fucking gravitational pull. So if you stay near a lot of specks, you can stay further away from the sun with a gravitational pull. If you don't have all those other bullshit with you, you're going to get pulled closer because of the gravitational pull. So yeah, this is a belt that is like holding steady with its gravitational pull.
named Wilhelm Olbers had a different idea. What if a planet did form there? And what if something destroyed it? He even gave the hypothetical planet a name, Phaeton, after the Greek god who lost control of the sun's chariot and nearly destroyed Earth.
Nope, that's fucking stupid. This makes no sense. Don't believe this. This is horse shit.
When critics pointed out the asteroid belt didn't have enough mass for a whole planet, Olbers had an answer. If a planet exploded in the vacuum of...
Like we said, there's no way there's enough continuity in the universe to make that shit come together and get fused into a whole planet. Fuck you, you moron.
Space, most of it wouldn't stick around. The debris would reach escape velocity. Some would fall into the sun, some would fly off into
So yeah, now once again, escape velocity. Like one, if like you're in a thing and it's a centrifuge, shit's spinning, your planets are there. If you get kind of out of whack, you can get thrown out or sucked into the star. That is 100% correct. I agree with him. I think it would get, if it's around Saturn or Jupiter, it's going to get thrown out. It's not going to go back into the thing and get burned out.
deep space, some would vaporize. What we see today, maybe 5% of the original mass, is exactly what you'd expect to find from a massive planet that was destroyed. But Neptune was discovered in 1846. That didn't fit Bode's law at all.
Now, we're not trying to make one planet. We're going to try to make multiple. And the best planet on the universe, the Earth. I really don't know if he could just, like, decide like that. Let's see what he says.
Critics said the whole Bode's law thing was a coincidence. But Van Flandern saw it differently. Neptune's orbit
Yeah, Bode's law is like, hey, you know, the most simplest kind of thing. It's the same kind of law. Like, you think the simplest thing is the answer. But we'll see what the simplest answer is.
wasn't wrong, it had been altered. Uranus was spinning on its side. Pluto's orbit is tilted and erratic. These anomalies weren't random. They were scars, remnants of an ancient catastrophe in the solar system. There's only one event powerful enough to
So once again, like I'm saying, what's weird about this is like if you have a small planet like Pluto or a satellite, everybody who's young, if it gets hit by something, yeah, it's going to spin out of whack. You know what I mean? So I think other planets in the outer atmosphere are going to get hit more than the ones in the inner atmosphere because the sun is pulling asteroids and shit to eat them for fucking fuel. You know what I mean? So I let's see.
do this. The violent, instantaneous destruction of an entire planet. The math, the patterns, the debris. It explained everything. Bode's law wasn't wrong at all. Van Flandern believed a massive planet was there, and now it's gone.
So, just so you know about these bullshit-ass claims, like the, what the fuck is it called? The thing, the asteroid that hit in the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico that killed all the dinosaurs. Yes, you can get hit by an asteroid and wipe your planet out, but other than that, we're talking about some real shit here, some G shit.
And he could prove it.
When buying pizza for movie nights, you want to pay right away. But replacing that broken TV, that's when you probably pay later. With the Klarna card, debit is the default, and pay later is there for when you need it, so you never lose control. That's smart. That's Klarna.
Enjoy 24-hour access at most Planet Fitness clubs. Save $28 or more when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month.
Fuck you,
Cancel
whore.
anytime. Deal ends Friday, February 27th.
Planet Fitness is the official fitness center of the Orlando Magic and Orlando Solar Bears.
Cold weather is tough on your hands. Try O'Keefe's Working Hands Hand Cream for guaranteed relief in one use.
Booking.com has all kinds of stays.
Holy fuck, how
Because a
many
romantic
ads
hotel
are there?
works for some.
Get the fuck out of here, bro.
This is your call
Black phone, too.
to stream.
Get out of here. Let's go. Let's figure this shit out.
Tom Van Flandern needed proof that planets had exploded in our solar system. He found it in the strangest place, during Soviet military tests. During the 1980s, the Soviets were testing anti-satellite weapons in orbit. The Americans were watching, obviously, and they noticed something strange. When a satellite exploded, the debris didn't just scatter randomly. The smaller pieces started orbiting the bigger pieces, like tiny moons around
It's
planets.
gravity!
They saw this and thought, well, if that happens with satellites, what happens when an entire planet explodes?
Gravity!
Just bigger. Way bigger. Mountain-sized chunks would fly off with clouds of smaller debris orbiting around them. From Earth, these would
How you
look
got your
exactly like
asteroid
comets.
belt?
The big chunk is the nucleus. the orbiting debris creates the tail.
Exactly.
But here's the thing. If comets really came from an exploded planet, some of them should have actual moons, little rocks.
So when asteroids all clump together, they don't create like a thing where it's just like this little fucking 5-pound stone. All the stones create together, and that's why they're fucking orbiting in the fucking orbital fucking goddamn satellite bullshit. Because they don't come into Earth because they're too close to other shit, and they create more mass.
Rocks orbiting the main comet, not just a dust cloud, but real solid objects. When Van Flandern suggested this, other scientists laughed. One even made a public bet. No comet would ever be found with a companion. Not ever. Comets were dirty snowballs from the edge of the solar system, not planetary fragments. Then Hale-Bopp showed up.
Bro, I swear to God, this fucking scientist is the dumbest motherfucker in the world. Like, I'm not a scientist, I understand this guy's correct. Let's watch what happens.
In 1995, this comet became one of the brightest objects in the night sky. Everyone was watching. In November 1996, amateur astronomer Chuck Schramek took a photo and saw something unexpected. Well, unexpected to everyone except Tom Van Flandern. There was a bright object near the comet. Looked like Hale-Bopp had a companion. Now, Schramek made a mistake. He went on Art Bell's radio show and called it a Saturn-like
Fuck Art
UFO,
Bell.
and the internet went crazy. Doomsday predictions, government cover-ups, you name it. You remember it. Professional astronomers checked Schramek's photo. The UFO was just a background star. Case closed. Schramek was wrong. Or was he?
Bitch.
Because
Fuck
here's
you,
what got
bitch.
buried in all the
I don't
UFO
know.
nonsense.
Let's watch.
Hale-Bopp was really weird. It had multiple nuclei. It had 2 tails, including one made of sodium. If Hale-Bopp was a fragment of a water-rich planet, sodium would have been left behind in salt deposits. And it wasn't just Hale-Bopp. The Galileo probe found a moon orbiting the asteroid Ida. The Near-Schumacher mission found unusual gravity around the asteroid Eros. Something massive was happening and hidden inside. When comet Shoemaker-Levy 9 hit Jupiter in 1994, it wasn't one object. It was 21 pieces traveling together like a broken necklace. Van Flandern was right. These weren't random space rocks. They were evidence of something bigger. Evidence that pointed to an object still scarred by a shattered solar system. The evidence was pointing to Mars.
No, Mars is bullshit. Mars used to have life on it. but
When Tom
goddamn
Van
it,
Flandern met
it's
Richard
over.
Hoagland, they realized their theories supported each other perfectly. Van Flandern had an exploded planet. Hoagland had a dead civilization on Mars. Put them together and you get a complete picture. Both men noticed the planet Mars didn't behave like a planet at all. Its orbit is more oval than circular. Its mass is too small for its distance from the sun. It's only about 11% the mass of Earth. Actually, the whole planet is more of a mystery than you think. Look at Mars from space and you'll see 2 completely different worlds. Literally, this is called the Martian dichotomy. The northern hemisphere is smooth, flat plains covered in what looked like dry ocean beds. It's almost peaceful. But the southern hemisphere, that's a disaster. Craters everywhere.
So once again, when you have mountains and other shit on your planet, that's made by like earthquakes, volcanoes, shit like that. Like it doesn't create by itself. Like you have to have, like they're saying, the other part is flat. There's nothing going on there. But here, there's volcanoes. There's shit. There's something. That's how you make mountains. There's no other way you make mountains. I mean, unless an alien made it.
Mountains, rough terrain, and for some reason, the southern crust is 20 miles thicker than the north. 20 miles? That's not natural erosion. That's like someone pasted an entire layer of debris onto half the planet. And not just that, the southern hemisphere is older.
That's not what that means. That's not what that means. If you happen to like know there's more rock in one area and you farm there, it doesn't mean that.
Than the north. Much older. 2 billion years older. Then there are the volcanoes. Olympus Mons is the biggest volcano in the solar system. 3 times taller than Everest. It sits on something called the Tharsis Bulge, a massive uplift in the Martian crust. And
Just so you guys know, when I used to do porn, I was known as the Tharsis Bulge. Maybe not.
directly opposite on the other side of Mars, another rise, another bulge, the Arabia Terra Rise. Two bulges.
It was another bulge. It was me on Mars. Like I laid down.
180 degrees apart. That doesn't seem random. That's what happens when a moon is locked to its parent planet. The gravitational pull creates these tidal bulges, just like how
I remember when I was locked to your mother's internal planet because I had sex with her a lot.
our moon creates ocean tides on Earth, but permanent and made of rock. We see this tidal effect on Europa and Io, two of Jupiter's moons, on Titan and Enceladus, two of Saturn's moons, Triton from Neptune, and Miranda from Uranus, the same bulges, the same tidal forces. If Mars was Maldek's moon,
The same bulges. I got the same bulges right here, honey.
it would have been tidally locked. The same side always faces its planet, just like our moon. And Maldek's gravity would have done something else. It would have pulled Martian
Dude, gravity is pulling my junk near the moon because it's so big.
oceans into a specific pattern. Richard Hoagland traced where those ancient oceans would have flowed. For millions of years, water would have moved in a clockwise pattern around Mars, two massive ocean systems meeting at the
I remember when your mom worked a clockwise motion around my deck.
equator, grinding against each other, carving deeper and deeper. Today we call that carving Valles Marineris. It's a canyon system 2,500 miles long and up to 4 miles deep. The Grand Canyon is nothing compared to this. The Grand Canyon would be
That's the damage I left on your mom, you whores.
nothing more than a baby canyon that would fit inside one of the small channels of Valles Marineris. NASA can't explain how it formed. But if Mars had twin oceans held in place by Maldek's gravity, meeting and grinding at that exact spot for millions of years, well, the canyon now makes perfect sense. When this theory was first proposed, mainstream science said, well, if there is water on Mars, it wasn't very much. It turns out they were wrong. Mars was covered with vast
I know there was more water on Mars because when I fucked your mom on there, she was wet as shit.
oceans. Links below to all kinds of Mars stories that prove this. Van Flanderen's exploding planet theory explained a lot of mysteries about the solar system. Hoagland's ancient Mars civilization explained the monuments. Together they painted a picture of a living moon orbiting a living planet. Then one day, it all ended, violently. The face on Mars sits in a region called Cydonia. Hoagland thinks it was built as a monument, or maybe a warning, a message carved in stone by a handful of survivors before their world died. Now, John Brandenburg thinks he knows what these Martians survived, and he thinks he can prove it. These Martians survived a nuclear war. Dr. John Brandenburg wasn't looking for evidence of nuclear war on Mars. The entire concept sounded like nonsense. He was a plasma physicist working on defense projects. His job was understanding nuclear weapons, how they work, and what they leave behind. But when he studied Mars data from NASA missions, he found something disturbing. The Martian surface had unusual concentrations of xenon-129. Now, here on Earth, that isotope comes from exactly one source: nuclear fission. Not volcanic activity, not cosmic radiation, nuclear explosions. The concentrations were highest in two locations: Cydonia, where the face on Mars sits, and in a region called Galaxious Chaos. The xenon levels were 2.5 times higher than anywhere else in the solar system. The only way to produce that much xenon-129 was through massive nuclear detonations.